Hi everybody! So it's a beautiful day out today. The sun is shining. The sun is so warm. It's amazing. So I just got out of work. It's a Friday afternoon. So I said, I am not going to coop myself up in my room today. So I grabbed a little thermos of tea, a nice book to read, and I am on my way to the park to enjoy the sun. That is something I really love about here in Spain, is the fact that, you know, people go outside. You can spend a nice evening or a nice afternoon going hiking or just sitting in the park, and there will be other people there too, and chances are I might make a new friend today. So I just made it to the park. You can see I found a nice little bench, cute greenery background, and I realized that this would be a great time to start to talk to you all about apartments or pisos here in Spain, especially because the applications just went up, so people will be reapplying, applying for the first time, getting ready to go. And I know that when I was in that point of the application process, I was already thinking, how the heck am I supposed to start living in Spain, in another country, if they do not provide you with housing through the Auxiliares program? So fear not, I, your guru, am here to help. So number one, like I said, they do not provide you with anything in the Auxiliares program. It is completely up to you to find a place to live, to figure out rent, utilities, cell phone, everything that you might need, internet, you know. So whatever you're going to need to live here, you need to figure out. They just give you the job and tell you where you're gonna have to figure it out in. So because of that, I started looking online. Obviously, that's the first place to look, and the best two websites that I've heard of and that I was recommended to, and that I know even people who live here in Spain already use, would be one, Easy Piso. Okay, so Easy Piso, which means easy apartment, and two, Idealista. So I don't know if that's supposed to be like idealist or idea lista, like an idealist. I don't know where that name came from, but Easy Piso and Idealista. So you want to go to one of those two sites, and I don't necessarily mean you want to find your place ahead of time, because as I'll talk about in a minute, that might not be the best idea, but that should definitely tell you at least the kinds of apartments that you'll be looking at. You might start to see what you like in apartments, what you don't like in apartments, and more than anything else, it should give you at least fair price range. Okay, so it should tell you what you should be expecting in terms of an apartment in your city in Spain. And I wish I could tell you what makes a good price range and what makes a bad one, but the entire country is different. I'm in the middle of nowhere town, and it's a university town on top of that, so the people here don't have money. So I was looking at some pretty cheap rent, and that was great. But if you're in Madrid or a city, you have to be aware that it's going to be more expensive. You're competing with more people who can pay more. So just be prepared, especially for those of you in cities. You might have to find a place far away from your work simply because it's the only place you can afford. Or if you're in a really tiny town, you might have to go somewhere far away to live because there's nowhere in that itty bitty teeny tiny town to rent from. Fair enough? Then why am I not telling you to go ahead and just rent a place off of these websites? Well, first of all, don't ever rent a place off of a website. Like always, I don't care where you are, you should see a place in person, because pictures can be real deceiving, okay? Never trust an image unless you've seen it in real life and can say, yes, this is true. But more than anything else, never trust an image put up by a Spanish landlord. Now, I am incredibly lucky, and I didn't actually listen to this advice. Everybody will always tell you, do not, whatever you do not rent a place in Spain without seeing it first, which means that you probably won't get a place until you get here. And that's not hard. I'm telling you, it's not hard. Most people can find a place within a couple of days, a week tops. But I actually went ahead and started to rent a place before I got here because my parents were freaking out too much. And I told my dad, I said, hey, if this is what it's going to take, first of all, you have to pay the first month's rent because I'm willing to wait until I actually get there, but you want me to start paying rent before I arrive. So that's up to you. Which he said, yes, please, I'll do it for my own peace of mind. And I said, that's fine, that's fine. But also, if we get there, because my parents were actually helping me move in. They came to Spain with me to help me move in. So I told him, that's fine, but if we get there and we find that this place is a complete dump, if I don't trust my landlady, if I don't like my roommates, whatever it is, because I didn't get to see it beforehand, that is on you, and it is your job to help me find a new place, figure out how to terminate this first rent contract, get into the new one. And he said, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And I don't know how hard he was praying, but I did end up in an amazing place. I have 2 roommates, both of which are female college students. They are lovely. I love them to death. My landlady is beautiful. I love her. She's so sweet. And I actually got a really nice apartment. That being said, something that I didn't know before I got here was that I kind of got an apartment in a slightly sketchy part of town. I mean, it's not really. There's not a dangerous part of Soria. It's kind of too small for that. But if there was one, it would be where my apartment is. Which is also something, you know, I would have liked to have known ahead of time. But of course, nobody would ever tell you that in an advertisement for a place to live, right? So always keep that in mind. Don't take my luck as a sign that you'll also be lucky, because I can tell you countless stories of other Auxes who did the same thing as me and were not lucky, not at all, and were trapped in these horrible contracts they couldn't get out of. They ended up having to pay 2 rents just so that they could live somewhere else, and they still had to pay for the horrible place rent. Roommates that were terrifying. You know, there are so many things that can go wrong. It's really your safest bet to just wait until you get here. No matter how terrifying that is, wait until you get here. So maybe what you could do is look online, and the week or so before you're coming, if you see any places, any listings that you like the look of, contact the landlord and ask them, hey, would you be willing to let me look at it next week when I arrive? And I'm sure they'll probably say, oh yeah, totally, that sounds great. Or if it's a fast-going neighborhood, they'll be like, nah, it'll be rented by then. But just keep in mind that you can start asking people to let you see ahead of time so that you can make appointments to look at apartments, but don't do much more than that. Really, don't. Even though it turned out really well for me, it's still one of my biggest regrets in this entire situation, and that I didn't wait, because it also prevented me from seeing any other apartments when I got here to see if I would have liked something better. And again, I love my apartment, no complaints whatsoever, but it does kind of suck that because I listened to my dad's anxiety instead of all of the advice from people who had already come telling me contrary, that now I had to just go with whatever I first found and call that a day. So keep it in mind. Chances are you will not be as lucky as me. I'm sorry. I got so stupidly lucky. I should not have been this lucky. I'm very happy about it, don't get me wrong, but really don't count on that. Wait and find your apartment when you get here. But to help curb your anxiety, start looking at places online to get a general idea of what you're looking at. So I hope that helped, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.